This is a good question. Why is Dwayne Johnson called The Rock? Well,
Stupid.
what do you mean that was
Because of
stupid?
your IQ. That's what that, remember?
What do you mean
Dumb as a
remember?
rock.
Nah,
That's what
see,
it was.
no. I am...
That Dwayne is dumb as a rock.
No, don't say it loud. There's a lot of people here. Don't say that loud because they will leave with that impression.
What is the real answer?
Got it in the bedroom.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? How you like that?
The camera clicks on. The interview begins like any other. But then something happens that no one expected. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the man who built an empire on strength, confidence, and an unshakable smile, breaks down completely. Tears stream down his face. His voice cracks. The mighty fortress crumbles right before our eyes. For years, we've watched him conquer Hollywood, dominate social media, and inspire millions with his relentless positivity. He's the highest paid actor in the world, a global icon, a symbol of invincibility. But on this particular day, the mask slips, the truth emerges, and what he reveals shakes everything we thought we knew about the man behind the muscles. At 52 years old, Dwayne Johnson finally opens up about the devastating reality he's been hiding, the pain he's carried in silence, the struggle that nearly destroyed him. Today, we're diving deep into the real story behind those tears, the admission that changed everything, the truth that proves even our heroes are human. This isn't about workout routines or movie deals. This is about survival, about depression, about the darkness that lurks behind even the brightest smiles. Stay with us, because what you're about to discover will change how you see The Rock forever. Dwayne Douglas Johnson enters the world on May 2, 1972, in Hayward, California. But his story doesn't begin with privilege or comfort. It begins with chaos. His father, Rocky Johnson, is a professional wrestler, constantly on the road, chasing dreams and paychecks. His mother, Otta Mavia, comes from Samoan wrestling royalty. Her father, Peter Mavia, is a legend in the ring. But legends don't pay the bills. The family moves constantly. 7 different schools by the time Dwayne reaches 8th grade. Never settling, never stable, always struggling. At 13, everything changes. They're living in Hawaii, barely scraping by. One morning, Dwayne wakes up to find his mother's car blocking traffic on a busy highway. He runs outside. What he sees haunts him forever. His mother stands in the middle of the road, tears streaming down her face. She's attempting suicide. Right there, in front of her teenage son. Dwayne physically pulls her back from the traffic. He saves her life. But something breaks inside him that day. A burden settles onto his young shoulders. The responsibility of keeping his mother alive. The terror of losing everything. The weight becomes unbearable. The family moves again, this time to Pennsylvania. Dwayne towers over his classmates at 6'4". He channels his pain into football. On the field, he finds control, purpose, a way to hit back at the world that keeps hitting him. He's good, really good. The University of Miami offers him a full scholarship. Finally, something goes right. He becomes a national champion with the Hurricanes in 1991. The NFL seems inevitable. His dreams are within reach. Then disaster strikes. A severe back injury derails everything. The Calgary Stampeders of the Canadian Football League give him a shot, but it doesn't last. Within months, he's cut from the team. At 23 years old, Dwayne returns home to his parents' tiny apartment. He has $7 in his pocket. $7. No prospects, no backup plan, no hope. Depression wraps around him like a suffocating blanket. He watches his dreams die. He watches his father struggle. He remembers his mother on that highway. And he wonders if he'll ever be anything more than another failed athlete with a famous last name. Desperation drives Dwayne to the family business, wrestling. His father and grandfather paved this path, and now it's his only option. He trains relentlessly. The WWE gives him a chance in 1996, debuting him as Rocky Mavia, a wholesome, smiling babyface. The audience hates him. They boo him mercilessly, chant "Die Rocky Die" and "Rocky sucks" at every appearance. He's failing again. Everything he touches turns to dust. But then something clicks. Instead of fighting the hatred, he embraces it. He transforms into The Rock, a trash-talking, eyebrow-raising, electric phenomenon. Suddenly, the audience can't get enough. His catchphrases become part of pop culture. "Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?" echoes through arenas worldwide. He becomes the face of WWE during its most successful era. By the late 90s, Dwayne Johnson is one of the most recognizable figures on television. Wrestling gives him wealth, fame, and purpose. But he wants more. Hollywood calls, and in 2001, he answers with The Scorpion King. The film pays him an unprecedented $5.5 million, a record for a first-time lead actor. Critics dismiss him as just another wrestler trying to act. They predict failure. They're wrong. Movie after movie, Dwayne proves himself. The Fast and Furious franchise elevates him to superstardom. Jumanji becomes a billion-dollar hit. Mona showcases his softer side. By 2016, Forbes names him the highest-paid actor in the world, a title he reclaims multiple times. He builds a production company, creates successful television shows, launches business ventures. His social media following explodes, reaching hundreds of millions across platforms. He's not just an actor anymore. He's a brand, an empire, an inspiration. People look at his sculpted physique, his relentless work ethic, his for Dasha.m workouts, and see perfection. He posts motivational messages daily, shares his Iron Paradise training sessions, talks about hard work, dedication, and chasing greatness. The world sees an unstoppable force, a man who conquered every obstacle, who transformed $7 into $700 million, who became the embodiment of the American dream. Everyone wants to be like The Rock, strong, confident, successful, unbreakable. But behind the Instagram posts and movie premieres, something dark festers, something he's hidden from everyone. The pressure builds, the facade becomes harder to maintain, and the cracks begin to show. The depression never left. That's the truth Dwayne finally reveals. While the world celebrated his success, he battled demons in private. The first major episode hits him hard at 15, watching his mother on that highway. But it returns throughout his life, again and again, like a predator waiting in the shadows. After his football career ends, depression nearly consumes him completely. Those months with $7 in his pocket aren't just about financial struggle. They're about spiritual death. He describes lying in his apartment, unable to move, drowning in worthlessness, questioning everything, wondering why he should keep fighting. His father, Rocky Johnson, is both his hero and his tormentor. The legendary wrestler expects perfection, demands toughness, shows little emotional support. Their relationship is complicated, strained by unspoken pain and impossible expectations. Dwayne loves his father desperately, but also resents him. When Rocky dies in January 2020, they haven't spoken in months. The guilt devastates Dwayne. All the things left unsaid, all the reconciliation that never happened, all the pain passed from father to son, unresolved and festering. His first marriage crumbles under the weight of fame. Dwayne marries Dani Garcia in 1997, and they have a daughter, Simone, in 2001. But the constant travel, the relentless ambition, the emotional walls he's built all take their toll. They divorce in 2008. Publicly, it's amicable. Privately, Dwayne spirals. He's failing as a father, failing as a husband, repeating his own father's patterns. The depression whispers that he's worthless, that success means nothing if you lose your family. He throws himself into work, using 16-hour days to outrun his thoughts. It doesn't work. The breakthrough comes in 2015 when he meets Lauren Hashian. She sees through his armor, recognizes his pain, encourages him to seek help. For the first time, Dwayne starts talking about his mental health. Not publicly yet, but privately. He begins therapy, starts processing decades of trauma, confronts the boy who pulled his mother from traffic, the young man who lost his dreams, the father who never learned how to be vulnerable. The process is agonizing. Every session peels back another layer of protection he's built around his heart. But slowly, something shifts. He starts understanding that strength isn't about never falling apart. It's about having the courage to admit when you're broken. The public revelation comes gradually. In 2017, Dwayne starts opening up about depression in interviews. He talks about his mother's suicide attempt, His own struggles, the darkness he's fought his entire life. The response overwhelms him. Millions of people reach out, sharing their own stories. Men, especially, thank him for speaking up, for showing that vulnerability isn't weakness, that even The Rock, the epitome of masculinity and strength, battles mental illness. It doesn't make him weak. It makes him human. But the hardest moment is yet to come. In November 2023, during a deeply personal interview, Dwayne completely breaks down. The interviewer asks about his mental health journey, about how he's managed to keep going through everything. And suddenly, the dam breaks. Years of held-back emotion pour out. He cries openly, uncontrollably. He talks about the nights he wanted to give up, the mornings he couldn't get out of bed, the smile he forced for cameras while dying inside. He reveals that even now, at the peak of success, depression still visits him. The difference is that now he talks about it. Now he asks for help. Now he knows he's not alone, that the tears on camera represent something profound. Dwayne Johnson isn't crying because he's weak. He's crying because he's finally strong enough to be vulnerable. The revelation that shocks the world isn't about scandal or controversy. It's about truth, about admitting that success doesn't cure mental illness, that money can't buy peace of mind, that even when you achieve everything you've ever dreamed of, depression doesn't care. It comes anyway. What makes this moment so powerful is Dwayne's honesty about ongoing struggle. He doesn't present himself as cured or fixed. He talks about depression as something he manages, not something he's defeated. Some days are harder than others. Some weeks require extra therapy sessions. Sometimes the for-a.m. workouts aren't about discipline, but about survival, about getting out of bed when every fiber of his being wants to stay in darkness. He opens up about medication, therapy, and the importance of his support system. Lauren and his daughters give him purpose. Friends who check in regularly keep him grounded. Professional help provides tools to manage the worst days. The response to his vulnerability changes everything. Mental health organizations praise his courage. Countless articles celebrate his openness. But more importantly, ordinary people feel less alone. Suicide prevention hotlines report increased calls from men specifically citing Dwayne's admission as their reason for seeking help. His willingness to cry on camera, to show weakness, saves lives. Today, at 52, Dwayne Johnson stands at an interesting crossroads. He's still one of the biggest stars in the world, still commands massive paychecks, still dominates social media. But now, his message has changed. He's not just about motivation and hustle anymore. He's about authenticity, about mental health, about showing people that you can be successful and still struggle, that asking for help is brave, that crying doesn't diminish your strength, it proves it. He's recently launched initiatives supporting mental health awareness. He speaks at events, funds programs, uses his platform to normalize conversations about depression, especially among men. The same man who once felt he had to project invincibility now uses his influence to tell people, it's okay to not be okay. His relationship with his daughters has deepened through this journey. He's determined to break the cycle of emotional unavailability that plagued his relationship. With his own father, he talks to them about feelings, shows them that even strong people struggle, models the vulnerability he wishes his father had shown him. Dwayne Johnson's tears tell a story far bigger than one man's struggle. They represent a cultural shift, a moment when masculinity redefined itself, when strength stopped meaning silence and started meaning honesty. His journey from $7 and suicidal depression to global superstar and mental health advocate proves that our lowest moments don't define us. What defines us is how we respond, how we grow, how we use our pain to help others. The Rock didn't conquer depression. He learned to live with it, to manage it, to talk about it. And in doing so, he became more powerful than he ever was in the wrestling ring or on the movie screen. He became human, relatable, real. His story reminds us that everyone is fighting battles we know nothing about, that the people who seem strongest might be struggling the most, that checking in on friends matters, that asking for help is courageous, that vulnerability is the ultimate strength. We want to hear from you. What's your favorite Dwayne Johnson moment? Not just from his movies, but from his mental health advocacy? How has his openness impacted you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep this conversation going. And if you or someone you know is struggling with depression, please reach out. Talk to someone. Seek help. You are not alone. If this story moved you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're diving deep into more celebrities who've bravely shared their mental health journeys, showing the real people behind the fame. Next up, we're exploring another shocking revelation that had the world in tears. You won't believe who finally broke their silence. Thank you for watching. Remember, it's okay to not be okay. And sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is cry. Just like The Rock did. Just like all of us need to sometimes. Stay strong. Stay vulnerable. Stay human.